So, ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 NFL Draft is in approximately 3 days. So, I figured that it is time. It's time for me to do my little mock draft. So, normally I don't do mock drafts. Like, I just normally sit back and I see what happens, and I'm just gonna make, like my analysis, my thoughts on who, the Cowboys get. But I figured, you know what? What the heck? The draft is literally, man, forget around the corner. It is literally a few feet away. So let's get right into it. So I'm only doing the first round, though, of course. I'm not doing all that day 2, day 3. Man, ain't nobody got friggin' time for all that. And if that's what you were expecting, well, you're not going to get it. Get the hell off my channel. So, either way, let's get to the first pick. Obviously, the first overall pick. Everybody and their mama know that the Bears are going to get Caleb Williams, quarterback out of USC. I mean, it's too easy. I mean, you just traded away Justin Fields. Maybe this wouldn't have been as easy had you still had Justin Fields, but you guys decided to make the dumb decision to do that. So either way, yeah, I have the Bears getting Caleb Williams with the first overall pick. Then at the second overall pick, the Commanders get Drake May. Now, I had a decision to make between whether or not they're going to get Drake May or are they going to get Jaden Daniels. Because I know that Cliff Kingsbury is the offensive coordinator down there in Washington. And Cliff Kingsbury likes dual threat quarterbacks. He's had Kyler Murray and he's had Jalen Hurts before in the past, I think. I want to say he had Jalen Hurts before in the past, and when Jalen Hurts transferred to Oklahoma. Either way, so yes, so it was a little bit of a toss up, but in the end, I decided, you know what? I think for the Commanders, I think they're going to get Drake May just based off the fact that I think he just might be the more like pro ready quarterback for them. Like that's the safer pick for them to get him over Jaden Daniels. Now, speaking of Jaden Daniels, at number 3, I think the Patriots are going to get Jaden Daniels, the aforementioned Jaden Daniels. Now, the reason why I think that the Patriots will get Jaden Daniels is because, okay, I'm going to be honest. If the Patriots still had Bill Belichick, I think they would probably get J.J. McCarthy, without a doubt. They're probably getting J.J. McCarthy if they still had Bill Belichick. But with the new head coach and new coaching management with Gerard Mayo, I think Gerard Mayo is going to go down the other route. I think that Gerard Mayo, knowing that the Patriots don't really have very many weapons on the offense, he needs a weapon, a Swiss Army knife at the quarterback position. A Lamar Jackson, if you will. A guy who is going to be able to create the big play if the play breaks down. And Jaden Daniels is very much all of that. And that's really what the Patriots need. So with the fourth overall pick, I have the Arizona Cardinals getting Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. is by far and away the best wide receiver heading into this draft. I mean, there's no secret about it. I mean, Maserati Marvin Harrison Jr. and what he brings to the table and what he is going to bring to the table. So the Arizona Cardinals will definitely pick Marvin Harrison Jr. with their fourth overall pick. At number 5 with the fifth overall pick, the Chargers select Brock Bowers, first tight end taken off the board. Some people might say that this is a bit too high, but come on. If you watched Brock Bowers in college, and he's kind of a hybrid tight end / wide receiver who you can move him anywhere. You can move him in the slot. You can move him on the line. You can move him outside. You can do so many things with him. And that's the kind of weapon, the kind of pass catcher that the Chargers definitely need in terms of versatility, especially when they practically got rid of almost their entire receiving core this offseason. So, matter of fact, got rid of almost their entire offense, period. So, I have the Chargers with the 5th pick getting Brock Bowers, tight end. Then, with the 6th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Malik Nabers, wide receiver. Now, Malik Nabers is definitely the best wide receiver in this draft if Marvin Harrison didn't exist. You look at Malik Nabers, he's kind of like a Jamar Chase, if you will. He's kind of like a Jamar Chase. You know, what Jamar Chase was doing in LSU and the stuff that you see him now, of course, doing in Cincinnati. So I think that Malik Nabers is absolutely what the doctor ordered for the New York Giants. They need a wide receiver desperately. And I think that is without a doubt the route that they're going to go. With the 7th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Joe Alt, offensive tackle. So this is the first offensive lineman taken off the board. And with my logic and my context, a lot of these are going to be based off of, position need. And then in that position, I'm just going to pick the best player available in that position. And Joe Alt is without a doubt the number 1 rated offensive tackle from my research that I saw. He is the number 1 graded offensive tackle heading into this draft. And the Titans definitely need offensive line help to protect Will Levis heading into this 2024 NFL season. So, because what good is it with them having D-Hop and Calvin Ridley if the dude doesn't have the time to be able to throw it to them? So, yeah, the Titans are going to get Joe Alt, offensive tackle, with their 7th overall pick. With the 8th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Dallas Turner, edge rusher. Now, the Atlanta Falcons, I ain't gonna lie, they did a lot to fix a lot of holes that they had on their team, like defense, and especially at the quarterback position. They, of course, we all know the elephant in the room that they signed Kirk Cousins. So I look at it and I'm like, who do the Falcons really need? Like, I think that they have a very solid secondary. Their linebackers are pretty good. Their defensive line is solid. Their offense, they got the wide receiver, they got the offensive line, they have the running backs, they now have the quarterback. I figured really their biggest weakness right now that they have is probably that they don't really have an edge rusher. And I think that Lietu Latu, please comment down below whether I'm saying that properly. Um, I felt like with the neck issues and injury in college, I felt like I don't think the Falcons are going to risk that one. So I think that they were probably going to get now the second best option, Dallas Turner. So that is my pick. I think that he will help out their pass rush that might be a little bit lacking. So definitely getting a guy like Dallas Turner, edge rusher out of Alabama, would definitely help. With the ninth pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Trey Fautanu, offensive tackle. Now, there were two things that the Bears definitely needed to address heading into this 2024 draft. One, get their quarterback for the future. And they got that with the first overall pick, of course. Possibly. Two, they need to get an offensive lineman to protect that franchise quarterback. Now, they got Darnell Wright last year. I think that they get another offensive tackle on the other side in Troy Fautanu, offensive tackle. With the 10th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Ja'Tavion Sanders, tight end. Now, I looked at the Jets, and we know that they have an OP defense. And let's be honest, their weapons, I mean, if they get a healthy Aaron Rodgers back, especially with the fact that they are going to have Garrett Wilson and a CJ Uzomah, well, not CJ Uzomah, but they of course have, Aaron Rodgers' buddy, and Allen Lazard. So I think that their weapons are going to be decent enough for Aaron Rodgers to work with. And also, they, in free agency, for the most part, rebuilt, and fixed their offensive line so Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to worry about getting hurt again. So I looked at it, and CJ Uzomah is okay. He's an okay tight end. And of course, there's Tyler Conklin. But I think the Jets definitely would not pass up this opportunity to get a tight end like Ja'Tavion Sanders. So I think that's who they're going to get with the 10th overall pick. With the 11th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select J.J. McCarthy, quarterback. J.J. McCarthy, I watched some tape on J.J. McCarthy, and I know a lot of people are going to say that there's not much on J.J. McCarthy because he played in Michigan where they run the ball and they play great defense. But I see a guy who has great accuracy, especially deep ball accuracy. And with him having weapons like Justin Jefferson, Jay Jettis, and Jordan Addison on the outside. And of course, you got TJ Hawkinson. Hey, man. JJ McCarthy is going to be taken care of. All he has to do now, of course, is show his talents that people are apparently oblivious of and show that out there on the field with his new team in the NFL and be able to transition. With the 12th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Michael Penix Jr., quarterback. Now, of course, this kind of goes back to J.J. McCarthy a little bit. Very small, a little small sample size, and again, great deep ball. J.J. McCarthy, of course, had Washington in the national championship game. They were the front runner, but J.J. McCarthy and his Michigan Wolverines were the winner. And however, of course, I know a lot of people are going to be like, I don't think that really, determines which one goes higher. But I think it does. Because I do think that J.J. McCarthy is the safer pick and the better pick for the Vikings to get. And then the Broncos still end up with Michael Penix Jr. with the very next pick right after. Speaking of, while we're discussing the AFC West, with the 13th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Blake Corum, running back. There's not very much explaining that needs to be said. All right. We know what the Raiders' mentality is now, and they definitely want a running back that they can also be able to feed the rock and pound the rock with, because that's definitely, of course, what Antonio Pierce wants. Not just what old school Raiders football always was, which was the bomb. But he wants to be able to wear opposing defenses down with his rushing attack. And after losing Josh Jacobs, being able to replace him with a guy like Blake Corum, I think is definitely the way to go. With the 14th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Peyton Wilson, linebacker. The Saints don't really have very many other holes that they need to fill outside of linebacker. I think their defensive line is pretty good. Their secondary is fine. Their quarterback and Derek Carr, they'll be fine. They have Alvin Kamara. Their wide receivers are decent. And offensive line is maybe a little shaky. But I think that the Saints' biggest problem, however, surprisingly this past season, was their run defense. And if you're trying to improve your run defense, linebacker is normally the way to go, if not defensive tackle. But I don't think they're going to get a defensive tackle. I think they're going to go linebacker here. With the 15th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Laiatu Latu, edge rusher. Now, Latu is the aforementioned player that I talked about just a few picks earlier with his injury and stuff in college. That might be a little bit of a scare for the Falcons to want to get. But I think the Colts, with the fact that they need to draft defense, more importantly, get an edge rusher that can take over a game. I think without a doubt that the Colts will definitely, this time we'll see Laiatu Latu get picked, this time with the 15th overall pick. With the 16th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Jared Verse, edge rusher. So back-to-back edge rushers I have, because the Seahawks, again, just like the Colts They need to go defense in this draft. They need to go defense. Secondary is pretty dang good. Linebackers are pretty dang good. But in my opinion, I would say that for them, they're missing that edge rusher, man. They're missing that edge rusher. Now, a few years back, they did try the whole Jadeveon Clowney, experiment, but unfortunately it just didn't work out the way they expected. Like he was solid. Jadeveon Clowney has always been a solid player in this league, but never a guy that you really want to put all your eggs in that basket for. So for them, they are definitely missing that edge rusher. A Michael Bennett. Remember when they had Michael Bennett? Or Cliff Averill and even Bruce Irvin? They're missing that. They're missing an edge rusher coming off the edge. And I think that they're going to get an edge rusher here with Jared Verse. With the 17th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Rome Odunze, wide receiver. The Jaguars just let Calvin Ridley go. Trust me, they are desperate to get a wide receiver. They are definitely desperate to get a wide receiver. So I absolutely think that they're going to get Rome Odunze, who is the next best wide receiver in this draft. And that will give Trevor Lawrence another weapon to be able to throw to after, of course, losing Calvin Ridley this offseason. With the 18th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Cooper DeJean, cornerback. Now, the Bengals were near the bottom in the NFL this past year in giving up big plays. And the loss of Von Bell and Jesse Bates last year definitely didn't help. So losing guys like that, trust me, your secondary is going to have a little bit of struggles when you got to try to replace two guys in your secondary. Cooper DeJean, I know it says he's a cornerback, but don't expect him to stay at that position for very long. The Bengals are definitely going to switch his position to safety, and I think that that's where he'll be able to show off, and that will be where he'll be able to show off his talents and succeed, and I think that will definitely help the Cincinnati Bengals defense. With the 19th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Byron Murphy II, defensive tackle. Now, the Rams just lost Aaron Donald, who decided to retire this offseason. They, without a doubt, took a major hit on their front four. So they definitely need to get a defensive lineman in this draft. And with a guy like Byron Murphy, with the combination of size and speed and strength, and his ability to be able to stop the run and be a pass rusher, I think that is definitely what the Rams are certainly going to be looking for as a replacement. And that's why I have them getting with the 19th overall pick. With the 20th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Steelers select Christian Hayes, offensive guard. Now, the Steelers, they basically, well, we know how OP their defense is. They have the running back. They have the wide receiver. They, right now, at the moment, have the quarterback and even the quarterback of the future. Both right now in their roster. So last year they drafted Broderick Jones with their first round pick, offensive tackle. I think this time they're going to slide more over to the interior because I still think that they have some offensive line assistance that they need. And I think this time they're going to slide over to the interior part of things. And they're going to get Christian Hayes with the 20th overall pick. With the 21st pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Dolphins select Jarzon Newton, defensive tackle. Now, this goes without saying. I mean, you just lost Christian Wilkins to the Las Vegas Raiders. You, without a doubt, definitely need that 3 to 5 technique defensive tackle still there. So, especially when you have teams like the Jets and the Patriots who do have formidable running games in your division, you definitely want a guy like that. So Jarzon Newton is going to get picked to the Dolphins at pick number 21. With the 22nd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Kool-Aid McKinstry, cornerback. Now, in my opinion, Kool-Aid McKinstry is the best cornerback in this draft. I don't want to hear nothing about Kenyon Mitchell. I don't want to hear nothing about Terrion Arnold. I think that Kool-Aid McKinstry is the best cornerback in this draft. And if the Eagles, which I don't want them to do this, but I'm just saying, if they do, this is a hypothetical. If they play their cards right, I think that this is who they will pick with their 22nd overall pick. Kool-Aid McKinstry, the best cornerback in the draft, in my opinion, and should be the best cornerback in the draft in a lot of people's opinion. With the 23rd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Nate Wiggins, cornerback. So back-to-back cornerbacks taken off the board. I was thinking about saying Terrion Arnold, but I decided to pump the brakes on that a little bit. I don't know if we're going to have back-to-back Alabama cornerbacks get taken. So I have Nate Wiggins getting taken out of Clemson. So he's basically going to another orange team, transitioning over to the NFL. And, you know, Nate Wiggins, his athleticism, and the ceiling for Nate Wiggins and his potential is definitely high, and definitely a player that the Cleveland Browns definitely want to have alongside Denzel Ward over on the other side. Because I felt like the Cleveland Browns' biggest downfall last year in the playoffs was that their front seven is marvelous. And when they get home, they get home. But the problem is, when they don't get home, well, that secondary is getting torched somewhere down the field. And we saw what happened in the wild card round, what C.J. Stroud did to them. He sunned their secondary. So I think that secondary was definitely a kind of a big problem for them. So I think they're definitely going to go DB with this pick and get Nate Wiggins. And of course, what a lot of people probably fast forward to, with the 24th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, see how that worked out. The Cowboys select Taliesin Fuaga, offensive tackle. Now, I read up on Taliesin Fuaga, and I love him. All right? No homo. I love him. I heard everything about him. His power. He is powerful. His size, speed, and strength combined. and his football IQ to transition as an offensive tackle heading into the NFL, they have him projected to, sure enough, be a first round selection. And I think he is absolutely who the Dallas Cowboys are going to be looking for. Especially with the fact that we definitely sort of need to rebuild this offensive line a little bit. So I have us getting Taliesin Fuaga, offensive tackle. With the 25th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Edgerrin Cooper, linebacker. Now, the Green Bay Packers looked at it, and I would say that they're really right now missing a linebacker, especially with them now losing Devondre Campbell. I think that they're going to be looking for a linebacker in that middle, and I think that that linebacker will be, in fact, Edgerrin Cooper. With the 26th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Junior Colson, linebacker. Again, just like the Packers, the Buccaneers lost a linebacker this offseason, of course, losing Devin White, who went to the Eagles. Yep. So the Buccaneers, of course, need linebacker need, and I think that they will get Junior Colson with that 26th overall pick to replace Devin White. With the 27th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Cardinals, not the Texans, the Cardinals select Cooper Beebe, offensive guard. Now, I looked at what the Cardinals had. We knew they were going to get a wide receiver with their first pick, but we absolutely knew at this point with their second first round pick, they got to go defense. And I looked at some of the edge rushers, one in particular, Chop Robinson, and it sounds like he's got all the intangibles and everything, and the traits, athleticism. The only problem that it said that they have with him and where he's lacking is coachability. Do you risk on defense and getting a guy like that who lacks coachability? Or do you go load the clip and try to get another offensive player and get an offensive lineman to better protect Kyler Murray? So I decided that they would get an offensive guard in Cooper Beebe. With the 28th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver. Now, this was a toss-up because he's not ranked higher than Adonai Mitchell or Adonai Mitchell, but he doesn't fit well with the Bills' scheme. The Bills do like to attack vertically. That's why they drafted, of course, Dalton Kincaid in the draft last year with their first round pick. They like to attack vertically. And a guy like Adonai Mitchell is just not going to cut it. But Brian Thomas Jr. certainly cuts it. And he absolutely fits exactly what the Buffalo Bills like to do offensively. So I felt like Brian Thomas Jr., he's the perfect fit, perfect skill set for a quarterback like Josh Allen. With the 29th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, The Lions select Terrion Arnold, cornerback. Now, I look at the Detroit Lions, and I look at the fact that they're definitely going to go defense in this draft. And they really don't need defensive linemen, and they don't really need a linebacker. And they don't need a safety because they have Brian Branch. But on the outsides at corner, they're definitely a little suspect. So I have the Lions picking Terrion Arnold, cornerback out of Alabama, who was actually, for some reason, graded higher than Kool-Aid McKinstry. But I don't know how in the world that makes any sense. But that's neither here nor there. With the 30th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Christian Mahogany, offensive guard. Now, the Ravens did lose a key piece in Morgan Moses on their offensive line, offensive guard. So, in order for them to keep this running game the way they love it to be, I think that they definitely want to get an offensive lineman to replace Morgan Moses, and I think they will use it to get Christian Mahogany. With the 31st pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, we're getting close to the end, the 49ers select Braden Fisk, defensive tackle. Now, I looked at Braden Fisk, and I like a lot of traits about Braden Fisk. He has good. He is the strongest. He is the strongest defensive lineman going into this draft, and his ability that he brings to the table as a 4-3 defensive tackle and his ability to rush the passer is definitely probably what the 49ers are looking for. I am so glad that I had Byron Murphy II going 19th to the Rams, because this would have been perfect for the 49ers to get him, but Braden Fisk still is good for the 49ers to have as well. With the last pick in the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft, with the 32nd pick, the Chiefs select aforementioned Adonai Mitchell, wide receiver. If the Chiefs do not get a wide receiver with this 32nd overall pick, I promise you that Patrick Mahomes is going to lose his freaking mind. And Adonai Mitchell, big body receiver, can be a red zone threat. And being the fact that Kansas City doesn't really have that mindset as an offense to really push the ball down the field vertically really anymore, like they did with Tyreek Hill, I don't think that they have to worry about Adonai Mitchell being a poor scheme fit for them. And he is without a doubt a really great wide receiver, especially with how his size goes together with his ability as a wide receiver. I think that the Kansas City Chiefs will pick him with their 32nd overall pick. So to close, these are the guys that I selected for anybody who missed the cut and was not paying attention. With the first overall pick, I have the Bears getting Caleb Williams. With the second overall pick, I have the Commanders getting Drake May. With the third overall pick, I have the Patriots getting Jaden Daniels. With the fourth overall pick, I have the Cardinals getting Marvin Harrison Jr. With the fifth overall pick, I have the Chargers getting Brock Bowers. With the sixth overall pick, I have the Giants getting Malik Neighbors. With the seventh overall pick, I have the Titans getting Joe Alt. With the eighth overall pick, I have the Falcons getting Dallas Turner. With the ninth overall pick, I have the Bears getting Troy Fautanu. With the 10th overall pick, I have the Jets getting Jatavion Sanders. With the 11th overall pick, I have the Vikings getting J.J. McCarthy. With the 12th overall pick, I have the Broncos getting Michael Penix Jr. With the 13th overall pick, I have the Raiders getting Blake Corum. With the 14th overall pick, I have the Saints getting Peyton Willis. With the 15th overall pick, I have the Colts getting Leighton Latu. With the 16th overall pick, I have the Seahawks getting Jared Verse. With the 17th overall pick, I have the Jaguars getting Rome Odunze. With the 18th overall pick, I have the Bengals getting Cooper DeJean. With the 19th overall pick, I have the Rams getting Byron Murphy II. With the 20th overall pick, I have the Steelers getting Christian Hayes. With the 21st overall pick, I have the Dolphins getting Jerzon Newton. With the 22nd overall pick, I had the Eagles drafting Kool-Aid McKinstry. With the 23rd overall pick, I have the Browns getting Nate Wiggins. With the 24th overall pick, I have the Cowboys getting Taliese Fuaga. With the 25th overall pick, I have the Packers getting Edgerrin Cooper. With the 26th overall pick, I have the Buccaneers getting Junior Colson. With the 27th overall pick, I had the Cardinals getting Cooper Beebe. With the 28th overall pick, I had the Bills getting Brian Thomas Jr. With the 29th overall pick, I had the Lions getting Terrion Arnold. And the 30th overall pick, I had the Ravens getting Christian Mahogany. 31st overall pick, I had the 49ers getting Braden Fisk. And with the 32nd overall pick, I had the Chiefs getting Adonai Mitchell. So, to all my audience, to all of Cowboys Nation, how do you feel, Cowboys Nation, about me projecting us getting Taliese Fuaga with our 24th overall pick? And of course, this is all hypothetically, just based off the fact that I didn't predict anybody trading up. Because how can you honestly predict anybody to trade up or trade back or whatever? So, this is a hypothetical just based off the fact of if nobody trades up, even though we know that somebody's going to trade up. But yeah, this is my mock draft for the first round. Let me know how y'all feel. And this is Mr. Cowboys Fan out.